I used to feel trapped by my own thoughts. Stress, overthinking, and constant worry ruled my life. Then I discovered one simple shift that changed everything. It didn't just reduce stress, it gave me clarity, peace, and mental freedom I never thought was possible. 5. Recognizing the mental trap. For years, my mind felt like a constant storm. Deadlines, responsibilities, and the weight of endless decisions never stopped racing through my head. I worried about the future, regretted the past, and compared myself to others constantly. I assumed that mental freedom would come with a bigger salary, a promotion, or a more controlled environment, but nothing seemed to work. The first step in escaping this cycle came when I realized that my stress wasn't coming from external events. It was coming from my own reactions. The realization hit me hard. I had been giving power to thoughts that served no purpose and only drained my energy. This awareness, as simple as it sounds, became the foundation of everything that followed. Without recognizing the trap, I couldn't begin to free myself. 4. Observing, without reacting. After acknowledging the trap, I began experimenting with a small but profound shift, observing my thoughts instead of reacting to them immediately. Whenever fear, doubt, or anxiety appeared, I paused and simply noticed the thought. I didn't try to push it away or fix it instantly. I let it exist, watched it, and allowed it to pass. The effect was subtle at first, almost unnoticeable. I still felt stress, but it no longer dictated my actions. Over time, I began to see patterns in my thinking. I realized that mental freedom isn't about controlling life's circumstances. It's about controlling how your mind interacts with them. By observing rather than reacting, I started reclaiming my energy and my clarity. 3. Daily practices that changed everything. To reinforce this new mindset, I began integrating daily practices into my routine. Every morning I spent a few minutes journaling, not to organize my tasks, but to release recurring worries and see patterns in my thoughts. I noticed which concerns were legitimate and which were just mental clutter. Alongside journaling, I meditated daily, using mindful breathing to create calm before the chaos of the day began. Each evening, I reflected on the day's moments, evaluating where I reacted impulsively and where I chose conscious response. I also made a habit of noticing the small wins, moments of peace, and gratitude-inducing experiences. This shift taught me that mental freedom isn't a single event. It is built consistently, one thoughtful habit at a time. Each small practice strengthened my ability to stay grounded, even in the face of challenges. 2. Protecting your energy. As I gained awareness and practiced observing my thoughts, I discovered another essential piece of mental freedom: protecting my energy. I had spent years overcommitting, saying yes to everything, and letting other people's demands drain my mental resources. Once I began consciously limiting unnecessary engagements, setting boundaries, and choosing where to invest my attention, my mental space expanded dramatically. I stopped scrolling endlessly on social media, removed myself from toxic discussions, and created periods of intentional solitude. I gave myself permission to rest without guilt, to focus on what mattered most, and to prioritize the quality of my thoughts over the quantity of activity. Mental freedom, I realized, is as much about protecting your internal environment as it is about managing your thoughts. 1. Choosing response over reaction. Finally, I discovered the single shift that changed everything: the power to choose my response instead of reacting automatically. Each time fear, doubt, or stress arose, I reminded myself that I could act deliberately. This choice, simple as it sounds, rewired my mind over months. Arguments no longer escalated as quickly. Mistakes became lessons instead of catastrophes. I was no longer a prisoner of my own mental chatter. This shift didn't remove problems, but it removed the mental chains I had been living under for years. Freedom, I learned, is not the absence of stress. It is the presence of conscious control over your mind. Every day, by observing, pausing, and responding intentionally, I was building lasting mental clarity, focus, and resilience. Mental freedom isn't about eliminating problems. It's about choosing your response and reclaiming your mind. Start small, practice daily, and watch your clarity and peace grow. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more strategies to live mentally free and focused.